This is your Daily 5 for Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. We got some more confirmation on details around the upcoming release of Grand Theft Auto 6 last week. The one that most people were seeming to get upset about, at least initially, was the pricing, which has been set at, I believe it's $80 for the base edition, and then I've seen $100 for the Ultimate Edition, although I fully expect that there will be more editions that are at higher cost. That hasn't been ruled out, so I wouldn't be surprised. And honestly, I don't know why anybody is surprised about that to begin with, because that's been telegraphed for at least a year now that this was going to come out at a higher price point. That's, I think there were a lot of articles saying that once that comes out, that's going to raise all the prices for everybody else because Rockstar will be able to set the new price level and people will follow. And some have already done that. So none of that is really a surprise. Look, I was never going to buy it on day one anyway, so that pricing doesn't matter to me because I have something that apparently a lot of people have lost called patience, so that's fine. The thing that does really irritate me is, from what I have read, and so far I've seen nothing contradicting this, no version of the game that's going to be released will have an actual physical disc. Every version will have a download code that you will have to go and pull it down digitally to play on whatever system you're going to play it on. And there were some interviews with industry analysts over on Video Games Chronicle, and they essentially said, well, that's okay, it's not going to hurt sales, and video game players, they're just going to accept it. It's Grand Theft Auto, so they'll just eat it. Who cares? And I'm not saying that they're going to be wrong about that. That probably won't impact sales in any meaningful way. I think most video game players are just going to go ahead and accept it. But nobody has to. These statements that seem to just make it seem inevitable, I've said this many times in many different ways about many different things. None of this stuff is inevitable. There is nothing about Grand Theft Auto 6, and maybe this is news to some people. I hope it isn't, but maybe it is. There is nothing about that game that's going to be all that special if you just wait and don't buy it. I'm not saying don't ever buy it. But if in fact this released and people didn't buy it so that there was a meaningful sales impact, and when asked they said, well, it's too expensive and there's no physical version, then I would guarantee you that pretty quickly there would be probably a price reduction at the very least, and a physical disc version made available. If you think Rockstar doesn't have the ability to very quickly issue a physical release version of this thing, you're out of your mind. Rockstar is essentially the Apple of video games for all intents and purposes. They can make it happen. And, of course, right now, as of me recording this, compact discs are not impacted by any type of component shortages. So it would be no big deal to have these things knocked right out. And again, the only reason that it won't happen is if people just pre-order this thing to death and just buy it on day one and just, as these analysts say, accept it. And all I'm saying in response is, people don't have to accept anything, at least as far as video games go. And let's be honest, is there really going to be anything in this video game? And this isn't even an anti-Grand Theft Auto game. At this point, I could say this about almost any video game franchise that's been going on for a while. Nothing that I've seen in these trailers tells me it's going to be anything massively different outside of, I think, the two playable protagonists, although Grand Theft Auto 5 had 3, so actually, in a way, that's one less. But it's going to be Grand Theft Auto again. Is there really anybody who can't wait to play Grand Theft Auto? This is not something where it looks like they're breaking new ground or doing something that is so revolutionary that I would think it would be worth paying more to not have a disc of it. So I guess people just have to decide what's important to them. Again, I don't expect anybody to really hear this and do anything differently. Do I think that my message on this is going to impact Rockstar in any significant way? Absolutely not. People are going to just keep doing this stuff and rewarding this behavior, and that's why it will go on. All I'm really trying to point out, which I shouldn't even have to point out, but it feels sometimes like you almost have to, is this is not something that is permanent. Rockstar is not in a position where they will not respond if they see a meaningful dent in their sales, if people tell them why, and these reasons are cited. So all I'm saying is, I'm not telling you whether to buy it or not, but this concept that people are just going to accept it, while that may be true, it is not something that is written in stone. And I just like to occasionally remind people that they have agency and they can exercise it. Later.